Episode 5, Jigjiga. Welcome to Helen's Journey. Improve your English skills through this exciting story about Helen, an Ethiopian-American girl exploring Ethiopia and trying to find her birth family. Brought to you by the U.S. Embassy to Ethiopia. The U.S. invests in Ethiopians. Episode 5, Jigjiga. Welcome back, friends. Previously on Helen's Journey, Helen and Khalid are research partners traveling around Ethiopia for their research. Khalid has feelings for Helen, but he doesn't want to tell her because they work together. They're going to Jigjiga for their first fieldwork trip. Let's listen and find out.
So, are you ready to leave Addis for the first time?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm excited to start our fieldwork and happy to see a new part of Ethiopia.
The Somali region is going to be very different from Addis. You will have a very different perspective on Ethiopia.
How is it different from Addis?
Well, Addis is majority Christian. Different kinds of Christians. Orthodox, Protestant, Catholic. Of course, there are Muslim people in Addis too. It's very diverse. But the Somali region is primarily Muslim. You will see many more mosques in Jigjiga than in Addis. Also, it's going to be hotter than Addis.
What else? What is this region famous for?
There is a famous food called diko. It's a meal made of dates, honey, and butter. It's eaten at wedding ceremonies.
That sounds delicious.
People will speak Somali language. Some of them might also know Amharic. But in the villages where we're doing research, it's most likely they only speak Somali. We'll be relying on the interpreter.
Thank you for identifying an interpreter at the Somali Language and Literature Studies Institute. He's been really helpful in translating the survey questions.
That's my job. Yes, he will meet us tomorrow morning at our hotel to accompany us to the villages.
Okay, thank you for arranging that too. So, the first village we are visiting is Hadao?
Hado. That's right. We'll spend the first day there. We'll drive out in the morning and back to Jigjiga before dark. I hope you are ready for camel's milk.
Sure. Bring it on.
What is bring it on?
Bring it on. It just means I'm ready.
Oh, I see. I'm not sure if I am ready for it.
I hope we see actual camels.
We will. Don't worry.
Okay, so after Hado, where do we go?
Second day, we're going to Dagale. Third day to Harorais. Then back home to Addis.
Okay, great. So this afternoon we will have time to relax and explore Jigjiga.
Exactly.
Someone at the American Embassy recommended visiting the market.
Okay, we can do that. They have been here before?
Yes, they've traveled here for work. I guess the embassy supports different programs here, like water sanitation, literacy programs, health worker training, and some other things.
I didn't realize they did things like that. I thought embassies just process visas.
Yeah, they do a lot of different things. They have a lot of culture and education programs they support, like the Fulbright student program that I am doing. It's supported by the U.S. Embassy.
Oh, right. I wasn't thinking about that. We're going to land soon. Can you see out the window? This is the Somali region, the second biggest in Ethiopia.
Wow.
We'll let Khalid and Helen get settled in their hotel in Jigjiga. They have a big day of research tomorrow. Let's see what Alamayu is doing back on campus. It looks like he's interviewing students in the cafeteria. He's probably working on a story for the student newsletter. Someone is not happy with Alamayu. Who is it? Let's listen and find out.
Excuse me, what is happening here?
Hey Zegeye, nice to meet you in person. We spoke on the phone last week. I'm Alamayo Emmanuel with the student newsletter.
I know who you are.
So you can probably imagine what's happening here. I'm interviewing students for an article about student satisfaction with the cafeteria food.
You are interviewing the group of students who are organizing a protest of the cafeteria food. They do not represent the student community in general. I hope you plan to interview other students. I know how much journalists value objectivity and fairness.
Hey, I think the profile I gave of you last week was very fair.
It was.
So, I hope that you can trust me to do my job here. I'm interviewing as many students as I can.
I understand you need to do your job, but I also understand it's a more interesting story to say students protest cafeteria food than most students are satisfied with the cafeteria food, even if the students protesting are the minority. So forgive me if I am concerned about how you do your job.
I'm curious why you are so interested. Why do you care what I write about?
Because I am the student council president. I would like our campus to be a safe place for learning. If you publish an article about a small group of protesters, that might escalate the situation. More students might join the protest. This could disrupt classes.
But the students want information about what is happening here on campus. The student newsletter needs to give them that information, even if it is not convenient for you.
Your editor, Brooke, and I have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with the student newsletter. There is no reason why I can't have a good relationship with you.
I agree. And to have a good relationship, you can let me proceed with my interviews without interrupting.
I don't want to involve Brooke in this situation.
Are you threatening to call my boss?
Of course not. I am saying that journalism requires good relationships, just like politics does. So, it would benefit you to have a good relationship with me.
Journalism requires uncovering the truth. And I'm starting to think that there is something about the cafeteria protesters that you don't want people to know about.
As I said, I don't care about the cafeteria protesters. I just want the school year to go smoothly. Write whatever you want.
I will.
Yikes, that was tense. I don't think Alamayu and Zegai are going to be friends, do you? Let's go back to Jigjiga. Helen and Khalid are having dinner. Helen has a question for Khalid. What is she going to ask him? Let's listen and find out.
I love this music.
Yeah, me too.
I know we haven't started our research yet, but I have a good feeling about it. I like Jigjiga. I think we are going to have a positive experience in the field.
I hope so.
What is that leaf that I saw people eating on the street?
They aren't eating it. They are chewing it. It's called chat.
Chat? I don't think I have noticed it before. Is it like a drug?
There is some disagreement. Some people think it's like a drug, and that's very addictive. Other people think it's not that different from drinking a coffee.
Have you ever tried it?
No. My mother made me promise when I was a teenager not to try it. She believes it's very addictive and very unhealthy.
I see. Thanks for explaining everything to me. So, Khalid, we should get to know each other since we will be spending so much time together and traveling every week for our research.
Okay.
So, how have you been, Khalid? I feel like we only talk about work. What's going on in your life?
Well, not that much actually. I've mostly been studying and working on this research project since the semester started.
What did you do over the summer?
I was in my hometown with my family. My father passed away a couple years ago, so I go and help as much as I can.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Where is your hometown? I think you told me before and I forgot.
It's Agaro, near Jimma.
And that's where all of your family is?
Yes. My mother and brother and sisters are all there. They have a coffee farm. I'm the oldest child. My younger brother is managing the farm, and I hope my sisters will go to university. They are in high school right now.
Wow, a coffee farm. My best friend Samira is trying to open a coffee shop in the U.S., but she wants the profits to help coffee-producing communities affected by climate change.
That's really great. If she needs a coffee source, I'm happy to help her make contacts here. My family has a lot of contacts in the coffee industry.
Absolutely. I'll let her know. So, do you have a girlfriend?
I'm single, And you?
Also single. But I kind of have a crush on someone.
A crush?
When you like someone, we call it a crush.
I see. So you like someone. Who is it?
Yes, maybe you know him. His name is Zagaye. He said he's the student council president.
Oh, yeah. I know who he is, but I have never met him.
That's too bad. I was hoping you could tell me about him. I don't really know that much about him.
Sorry.
Did you vote for him?
I'm sorry. I did not vote for your crush.
Why not?
Honestly, I didn't vote in the student council election.
Khalid, it's your duty to vote.
Yeah, in a real election, not in a silly school election.
School elections still matter. Participating and investing in your community can make a difference, even if it is just a small difference.
It just seems like a waste of time. All these people that run for student council or for real political positions, they are all the same. Nothing ever truly changes.
That's really pessimistic.
I am optimistic about my life and the life of my family. I am going to take care of them. But about campus and about government, I don't know. I just don't really care that much.
But what happens on campus affects you as a student, and what happens in government affects you and your family as citizens.
You are so passionate. You remind me of my housemate Alamayo.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, he is also really passionate about participating and making change.
Well, I hope I can meet him someday.
Poor Khalid. He has a crush on Helen, but Helen has a crush on Zegai. What will happen? Listen to future episodes and find out. Now for a lesson on the English language. Time for vocabulary. Let's look at 5 words from the story. Our first vocabulary term is primarily. Khalid said,
Of course, there are Muslim people in Addis too. It's very diverse, but the Somali region is primarily Muslim.
Primarily is an adverb that means in this context, mainly or mostly. Most of the people of the Somali region are Muslim. Our second vocabulary word is objectivity. Zegai said,
I know how much journalists value objectivity and fairness.
Objectivity is a noun that means based on facts rather than feelings or opinions. Zegai is saying that journalists should write news stories that are based on facts and evidence, not biased by the journalist's feelings and personal opinions. The third vocabulary word is article. Alamayu said,
I'm interviewing students for an article about student satisfaction with the cafeteria food.
Article is a noun that means a piece of writing about a particular subject that is included in a magazine, newspaper, etc. Alamayu is talking to students because he's writing a news story, an article, for the student newsletter about the cafeteria food. Our fourth vocabulary word is truth. Alamayu said,
Journalism requires uncovering the truth.
Truth is a noun that means the real facts about something, the things that are true. Alamayu believes that the purpose of journalism is to identify the truth, the real facts about a situation, and share it with the readers. And the fifth vocabulary term is get to know. Helen told Khalid,
So, Khalid, we should get to know each other, since we will be spending so much time together.
Get to know is a verb phrase that means to become acquainted with someone beyond introductions. Helen knows Khalid, but she wants to know more about him. She asks him questions about his family and other areas of his life to get to know him. Time for expressing yourself in English. Agreeing with someone. Let's look at how Khalid agrees with Helen's opinion.
I love this music.
Yeah, me too.
Helen loves the music, and Khalid also loves the music. He agrees with her opinion by saying, me too. Zegai and Alamayu also agree on something. They said,
Your editor, Brooke, and I have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with the student newsletter. There is no reason why I can't have a good relationship with you.
I agree.
Zegai has an opinion about his relationship with the student newsletter, and Alamayu shares his opinion. Next time someone has an opinion and you have the same opinion, say, "Me too," or "I agree." Time for grammar. Present continuous. Zegai confronted Alamayu and asked him what he was doing. Here is how Alamayu responded.
I'm interviewing students for an article about student satisfaction with the cafeteria food.
You are interviewing the group of students who are organizing a protest of the cafeteria food.
I am interviewing and you are interviewing are examples of the present continuous. Sometimes this verb form is also called the present progressive. It is also used to describe actions happening right now. At the time of speaking, Alamayu was interviewing students. Present continuous verbs are formed with be plus an ing verb. We change the be verb according to the subject. For example, I am listening. She is speaking. He is writing. They are learning. We are studying. What are you doing right now? I hope you're enjoying the lesson. Time for facts on American culture and education. Ethiopian imports to the U.S. Khalid's family has a coffee farm in Agaro, near Jimma in the Oromia region. He offers to share his contacts in the coffee business with Helen because her friend Samira wants to start a coffee shop in the U.S. that serves Ethiopian coffee. According to the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, the United States imported $445 million worth of goods from Ethiopia in 2018. The biggest import was coffee. Americans love Ethiopian coffee. Thank you for listening to Helen's Journey. We'll see you next time. The introduction and closing music, Blue Ska, is by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons.
Executive Producer, Hailu Kabada. Directors, Abdullah Birru, Antaneh Brahani. Sound and Editing, Tamrat Alamu. Narrator, Timothy Green. Casts, Theodros Tesama as Alamayo. Zarihum Brahanu as Khalid. Adana Gitacho as Zagaya.